is Tuesday, September 3rd, our first school day of September. Welcome to your second month of 7th grade learning. We do have more teachy bits today, and we're going to have a verbal quiz in a moment. We're going to have your souls get a chance to speak to me all over again. We're going to talk about you having a reading book tomorrow, so I would not have to torture you on that one, that you all obviously have because you're super responsible. And speaking of responsibility, your grades... Excuse me. And B points are updated over here. Includes all the grades from last week and the B points, and you should be all good to go unless you're spending them now through choices. But hopefully we're doing all right. So tie game does continue this week. You cannot get 4 points because I did not wear a tie yesterday because I got to just sit around and not be here. So you're out of luck there. If you're wanting to play this week, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to keep reminding you about these, directions things and then try to help you out from there. So I figured we'd see how well you can do this week. Tomorrow, we're going to be going to the library for a good chunk of the whole class period. You are going to need a reading book that you are going to get a chance to read, which is why when we went 2 weeks ago, I said make sure you have a book. Does not have to be from the library. It can be from home. That's fine with me. It just has to be a book that you don't mind reading that would bring you joy of some kind. And so it does not matter the level or the genre, but my goal is every week or so, or 2 weeks, we're going to spend time reading. So just have a booky thing that you can bring in. If you don't have a book tomorrow, it does cost you 3 points because it's that whole responsibility thing. But you can get a point back if you check out a book in the library. And then you can check out a book and I can at least give you a point back. But you don't get all your points back because responsibility is tough. And then you will have time to read. While we're head over there, if you are in single digits, which I don't think we have anyone in here anymore, correct, unless someone makes a bad choice today, then you would be sitting next to me. I have no one in here with outstanding Simpson sheets, so we're good to go there. So in that case, you guys should be clear. The book from there, you will get a chance to visit the loft if you want to. For the lofty thing, you have to have over 25 points in class and have not lost any this week. Because they're going to do like a game activity for the first half, and then the second half we're going to be reading. And if you have the points and you want to, that is fine with me about you going up to the lofty area. If you have not lost any points this year, then you are currently at 21 points. Some of you guys have done extra things which have brought you up to that 25-point mark. If you've not lost points all year, this Friday, you will then go up to 25 because you'll be like at 21 and you're going to gain like another 5, raise by 26, out of numbers or something like that. But you're going to be really up there to that whole 25-point. Questions on that? Nosies. Thursday, we get to do more with short stories. We're going to finish out the notes on that day because today we're going to do a bit of a review-y learning thing. And then Friday, we get to read our first short story together. And it's one about a young boy and a young girl who fall in love, and then someone tries to kill them because apparently kids have issues. And if I say they fall in love, you guys go, oh, and I go, someone tries to kill them, you go, ah, and you get interested again because y'all need therapy. Oh, but it's okay. So do I. So we all work well together. Yeah, it'll be again, all of the short stories we do, I chose because I find them interesting in some way. And love is adorable when it ends in death. Alright, speaking of death of children, we're going to get back to short stories. So if you want to look at your paper now, we're getting ready to see what is in your brain and what you memorized from last week. So if you want to do a quick try to cram all that information into your brain, you can. Because then you're going to turn this paper face down so you can no longer see it. Unless you're young and Kindle or Juliana, then you guys get to keep your space up so you get to write down the notes. But these other kids, they're going to get to learn, they're going to help teach you by what's inside their heads. All right, let's begin Operation Children's Souls. I know, it's scary for me too. Turn paper face down so name side is no longer up. And we'll see what's in there because no matter how much you're trying to memorize now, as soon as I start talking for all of 3 seconds, your brain's going to empty out again anyway, so it's not going to matter. Let's find out. So we started going through all of the different elements last week and introducing them and the different parts that go into it. And Brinley said that the first one, which is plot, she was like, Miss Brovicast, I know the plot. Not your mouth bits, but your heart bits. Said, I know this one and I feel strong. And I was like, settle down, Brinley. So here, Brinley, you're either going to tell me the definition or what is the question word that connects to the word definition.
What?
Exactly. Nicely done, Brinley. What happens in a story? See, her soul just spoke up like that. It's an outline of all the major events that occur in there. Sometimes your soul is just strong. Nicely done. Who should go next? Looks like Brian. Brian will jump to, it's not my fault, her soul pointed right in your direction. I was like, really, Brian? I said, yep, that's who goes. And I said, okay. Brian, so I know, if only you could see through that paper to the other side. If only it wasn't face down, but it is. And then, from there, Brian, I know tears of knowledge are just coming out of you already. You're so excited to learn. So Brian, we're either going to get for the definition or the question word that connects to this one, because we did what for plot, but we can't use what for characters. That would be silly. So what question word are we going to use to go along with this? Who? You. I want you to answer it. Thanks, Brian. Who is in? Oh, that's hilarious. Who is in the story would work for me. Jaden. So to stick with it, do we always have to have humans as people as our main characters?
No.
All right. So Jaden, can you give me an example of a type of story or a story that does not have humans as your main characters?
Backyardigans.
That would work. And who are the main characters there?
The dinosaur, I think.
No, I've not watched Backyardigans in a long time. Is Backyardigans what has like? No, that's.
The little.
There's an orange one, there's a purple one, there's a green one, there's a
Well, you keep saying
red
one.
one.
Are they dinosaurs?
They're different
They're
animals. One of them looks
monsters.
like a moose, there's a yellow moose.
That's what I
A
remember.
purple penguin, a green,
You just kept saying there's a red one, an orange one. I'm like, a one's what?
yellow moose, and
That works for me. Well done, Jaden. I didn't mean to stump you on that.
Oh yeah.
It's the Kool-Aid man. And then for setting with Nate, who gets to be twice as good as the other kids, because there's two question words that connect to this one. Nate, what are the two parts of setting?
Where and when.
Nicely done, Nate. So either time and place, but I prefer the question words of when and where. And Karis, did you get your phone that was on my desk? Perfect, to make sure. I just was like, oh yeah, kid gave me a thing for you. And then we got to, point of view, where things get a little bit tougher, but that's okay for all of those of you who are worried. It's Sophia the Living who has chosen this one. So good job, Sophia the Living. With point of view, either the definition or the question word that's going to connect to it. I don't know how you couldn't remember this, but there is a chance of it. Nicely done, Sophia. It's weird how these things just come to you. How the plot is told to us in the story, or how we see the story, would be the one that works for that one. Now, Mason, for here, from point of view, we're going to break it down into the two main types. There's one here, and then this one gets split. So you know the two main types of point of view? They deal with numbers. The first one is called... First one is called? Good. We're going to skip the second one. The third one's called?
third person.
Was called what?
Third person.
Nicely done. So we have first person and we have third person. But Avery's upset because she's like, Mr. Broviak, we have to break third person into two different ones. I agree, Avery. Thanks for pointing that out. So Avery, what are the two parts of point of view third person? One starts with an L and follows just one person. And then one starts with an O and follows a whole bunch of people. How close can you get on our different types of third person?
Third person limited.
Ooh, nicely done. And the other one? Now, given it's a tough word, can you get any part of it that sounds correct-ish? No, that's a U.
Omni.
Yeah.
Anything coming to you, Avery? Anything at all? Something right there in your head? Nicely done, Avery. Third person omniscient. We're so helpful as we get into the stuff from there. So Addie, to help out young Avery, first person does not have a narrator telling us the story. Who is going to tell us the story in a first person one?
You.
Me? Close, but I can't be in every story. You can't be in every story either, but I like how confident you feel. You're trying to go through pronouns, and we're close. We're not going to do a pronoun thing on this one. This is like narrator is going to be telling you the third person, but we can't have a narrator in the first person. And there's someone else who's going to be telling the story to us. Helps if you think about what comes after plot.
Me?
Did you say me? It feels like you're saying just random things, which is weird. I mean, that is something like if you were like the main character in a story, you would do.
The main character.
Nicely done. I was going to try to think of like the whole, it's like a TikTok thing, like you think you're the main character and they try to make fun of you and stuff like that.
I'm the main character here.
So you're like, Addie, don't worry, we'll keep picking on you for another moment. I know how much you like pronouns. So, Addie, for the main character, first person, what pronouns should we look for to know it's going to be told in first person?
I, me.
That's where the I and me comes in. You felt strong with your pronoun help on that one. Now, Annabelle, with third person, we no longer have a main character telling us the story. Who's going to be telling us the story instead?
For limited or omniscient?
For either third person limited or omniscient. It's the same type of thing.
Oh.
Big word, starts with an N, doesn't rhyme with main character.
Narrator?
I say this kind of rhymes with main character. Narrator works for me. Now, Omar, with our narrator, how many characters do they follow in third person limited?
One person.
Nicely done. And in third person omniscient?
Everyone.
Nicely done, Omar. Go you. So that's where the narrator is talking about the one, and then the narrator is going to be following the mini characters. They get a chance to go into it from there. Now, Karis, for here with third person, since we're no longer going to be using the I, me, and we, what pronoun should we use for the narrator in third person? If it's not I, me, and we, what else could we use? I know, you're trying to figure out if they could help you, but I don't know if he is paying attention. What's that? Nicely done, Karis. So this is where the he, she, and they come in, and those are the pronouns you're going to look for to try to help you out from there. Did we do second person with you guys last week?
No.
Yes. Yeah, we did.
Oh, we did.
Oh, well,
Yes.
turn your paper over. Do you have second person written on there?
No. Yes.
So
No.
some of you are more responsible than others. This is where those kids going, no. They're like, responsibility? What's that? Is it a type of dog? Something like that. So, in a moment, we're going to make this disappear. I'm hoping that Juliana and Kindle Kid feel strong. Then, yeah, let's go to. Here's where if you did not write down second person, you could either write it down over here to the side bit, or you could write it down in this bit that goes in there. And second person is one that we're not going to really use because it doesn't work well, but what pronoun should you look for? Now you know it. So this is where we use you, and again, it's hard to write a story in that where you say, you are walking down the street and you see a ninja, unless you're reading like the choose your own adventure books. It's usually used more for directions, like you need to get your stuff out, you should join the army, something like that. And so this is where we're talking to you, in case you were curious about who we were talking to. Sorry, hiccups, figure we point right. By the way, that's not Abraham Lincoln.
Yes,
Which is what my first period told me. And then another kid would go, no, he has white hair, it's George Washington. And I said, no, it's not George Washington either.
Is that Duke Dennis?
Uncle Sam, who is just a fictionalized version of America, who's like everyone's uncle. And so he's not a real person.
I thought that was Duke.
I mean, neither was Abraham Lincoln, but it doesn't matter.
What?
Dennis.
I thought it was Tyson Nash.
Abraham Lincoln, he's as real as birds.
He looks cool. I bet he's Tyson Nash.
He's white. Birds are
What are
dinosaurs.
you talking about? Birds? Birds aren't real.
Yeah, right? That's why they had COVID, so they could change all the batteries and people inside. Duh. I learned that on the internet. So, we are now going to see how well you can apply all of this, and we're going to have you throw some junior high gang signs here in a moment. So we're going to see, I am going to show you a screenshot of a video game, because video games are my love language, because I love them and I speak a language. So you're either going to throw up a 1 if you think it's a first person, or you're going to throw up a 3 if you, I know it took me a second, 3 if you think it's third person. So first person or third person. Then, if you say it's third person, you're going to have to also tell me, is it limited to 1 character or omniscient and follow many characters? And some of you are going to be fancy enough, you're going to go third person and then go limited, and you can throw out like your little thumb on that side. Or you can go third person, omniscient, and you can use your little pinky thing. Depends on what, or you could look like a little bird with a claw, or whatever happens to work for.
Bird is the word.
Alright. If you know the video game, it might help you. If not, then you just have to use what information you can see to see if it's first or third, and we'll see how well you can do it. Alright. First one is this one.
Apex. Apex Legends is like hello.
So throw your signs at me.
Apex. I used to play this with James.
Apex Legends.
I used to play
It
this
is Apex Legends.
Oh,
Well
favorite
done.
game.
And by the way,
If I guess
what is this genre of game called?
FPS.
FPS stands for?
First shooter.
So this is called a first-person shooter, which should help you figure out it's in first person. The idea being is that you have the hands there, so you're seeing through that character's viewpoint. So that would be your first person. All right.
Fortnite.
I'll be cranky.
Fortnite Rizzy Pass.
Well done. Watching the gang signs happen. So good job with
Oh
your.
yeah.
Now you can change skins, but not while you're playing, unless you have prestige.
But
That's
there's 2
different.
people.
So here, would this be limited or omniscient?
It depends.
Oh, why'd you know your name?
So
I'm a 10.
this is limited. Now, if you get killed, like I do a lot, what happens after you get killed?
You go to the battle.
Now, before you go back to the battle,
You go to
the lobby, you spectate
Back
the
to the
players.
lobby.
While you're spectating, can you change the person you're spectating?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then it becomes omniscient. So in spectate mode, it's omniscient. Because that's what I like to do whenever I die. There's like 4 people left. I like to God yeah. I jump around like the last 4 people, and it's like, and you watch them hunt each other, and you're like, he's behind the rock!
What's your name? What's your name on Fortnite?
It's the same as all my social media. Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
What's that I say?
Minecraft. It's Minecraft. Even if you don't know the game, you should be able to figure out point of view just from the screenshot. So you should have. Those of you who don't know the game, can you change your character?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes,
You can't change that clothes.
Oh no, you can change the accessories.
So, correct. Changing clothes does not change who you are. It's why I got out my wigs over here to taunt kids in first period, because they're like, changing clothes, you're a new person. I'm like, yay! So I went out, I put on a wig, I'm like, huh? 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 Huh?
But I want
And
to
so-
see the wig.
Yeah, can you
Are you
I don't understand.
This is wrong, we don't believe you, disappear.
old blonde hair Bob Ross?
Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I'm back. I'll just bring it over here to all my other classes. Plus the kids online are like, I want to see the wig.
That's Ice Spice.
I'm back. So, since you can't change characters, that makes it limited. We'll try another one.
Gold.
Now, throwing your hand signs at me. That'd be sussy.
yeah, you can't.
And
Sissy boy.
Or
third person, can you change your character?
No.
no.
Yes.
Now,
Not
You
me.
only
if
got
you
one
are the
thing.
imposter, you can change to look like another character.
You can?
Do I need to
Yeah.
get out of the wig again? Does that,
It's called a shave.
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's called a skibbity toilet.
Guys, it's all.
I just want to see the wig again. So again, this was going to be third limited because you're not changing the character, you're just changing the outfit.
Take a picture.
At the end of class, if you want to take
I know all these things. I'm so good.
Imagine having 150 ink.
Madden. Madden 20. Wait, that's 23, right?
That's 20.
Actually mobile, but yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
So on here, one is it first or third? So third,
ominous.
can you change your character?
Uh-huh.
So almost every sports ball game, you can change your characters because it's this, or if it's going to be like NCAA 2K25, or if you're going to be looking at FIFA, and it goes your sports ball goes from one person to the next, it changes characters. So that's where the omniscient comes in. All right. Now we'll see if you guys yell at me for this next one.
I play when I'm bored. I play when I'm bored.
Of course, yeah. And my hand sign for this one. I agree. It is third person.
It's third person. How long?
No, it can be all.
So this is the part where I have to sass and say this one's in limited,
Yes.
but I am aware there's a button you hit. That's why there's another screen. Don't make me sass a child. So what would this one be? So yeah. So I am aware that you can go from third person to first person, and in this game you can sort of get both.
What's final
And
first?
so that's where the first person comes in.
Wait, what's the first person view?
Looking at
No, not that one where it's like in front of your character.
That's second person. That's second person.
Goof.
No, not that one. It goes from the camera being back.
So what you get is just it's third person still. It's just third person farther distance.
Okay.
So when you can like scroll wheel back and like all of a sudden your guy becomes like this little tiny thing in front of you. You're still third person. It's just third person from a distance. And did that one just
Hey, what's final first?
NBA 2K.
Mobile.
good job. And
Do you just play mobile games?
It's actually
third person.
Do you just play mobile games?
That looks like Omar's excited about omniscient. Correct. All right. Well done on the video games. I'm now going to try and make it a little bit tougher. And now we're going to use these things called words. I know, I told you it got scarier. So I'm now going to give you a little snippet of a story. And now is where those pronouns come in. Where if you want to use your paper, you can look on there to see. You'll see how well you figure out a thing here.
It just got.
Don't worry, I'll read it to you. I would hate for you guys to use your own brain at school. Zach repeated the phrase to himself again as he glanced at the numbers scrawled on the piece of paper clutched in his hand. As long as he kept his cool and didn't look suspicious, he'd be fine. This would be easy. So our hand sign here. Alright. Limited or omniscient?
Limited.
Following which character?
Zach.
How'd you know it was third, by the way?
Because Zach gets to use the phrase to himself.
Try this one. I was awoken from sleep by the cry of fire. The curtains of my bed were in flames and the whole house was blazing. It was with great difficulty that my wife and myself made our escape from the inferno. I resigned myself from then on to despair.
Whoa.
How do you know it's first?
Because it says I.
Alright, fancy pants children. I'm going to give you a poem. Let's see if you can figure out what to do in a poem.
What happened? My sister.
Maggie and Millie and Molly and May went down to the beach to play one day. And Maggie discovered a shell that sang so sweetly she couldn't remember her troubles and Millie befriended a stranded star whose rays 5 languid fingers war. Molly was chased by a horrible thing which lay sideways while blowing bubbles and May came home with a smooth round stone as small as the world and as large as the answer. And third, by the way, I didn't read the last stanza because the last stanza you could argue is no longer third Do you know why you could argue the last stanza?
hate me.
And so the last stanza, it technically could be considered you, which would be like either second or first. So I don't read that one, because I don't want to confuse you.
That's like my.
And does it follow one or many? All right. Let's go to my next level of challenge. So, those were too easy. So I have written a story. And I am going to give you parts of my story, and we're going to see if you can figure it out as I jump from one point of view to the next. But to understand my story, you have to know what a bunny monster is, because they show up in a lot of my stories. A bunny monster, look at you guys all. These kids over here can't see that though, but yes. I do have a bunny monster sign back over here a kid gave me, and I also have a little bunny monster statue that's over there, and I have like a bunny monster sticker over there. Bunny monster is a rabbit with large antlers on his head, like a deer. They are known for living in school lockers, and they like to nibble on children's toes. If you've ever had a Lunchable, they made the bunny monster the mascot of Lunchables. So if you've ever seen Lunchables, they put little bunny monsters on there because apparently Lunchables are made out of children's toes or something like that. There is a slightly better view where you have so it's a little bunny monster there. They will show up in a lot of my stories this year because I find these creatures fascinating. This is not a bunny monster. This is a Perry. This is also not a bunny monster. That's a Karen.
Isn't that a boy Karen?
It's dead.
Bro!
There's still a female Karen. There's a class you can take.
That's Ken. That's Ken.
That's Ken.
James Charles Odd.
So again, do you guys know what dialogue is?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you look for to find dialogue?
I'll forget.
Let's see the scene.
So, again, not bunny ears, those are up there, but a little quotation. The reason I tell you is, I will tell you now, I'm going to try to trick you with dialogue. Never pay attention to dialogue from point of view. It is just there to confuse you. You only use the non-dialogue parts. Now, I have faith in you that as soon as I said that, at least half of you are going to forget it. So the next time we get to like 3 screens from now and I put dialogue up there, I'm going to fool you because I have no faith in you whatsoever. That's rude. Yeah, on the same page. First one. As I walked up the hill, I realized that the air was too quiet. There was no sound from the bunny monster who was nearly always growling from the base of the old maple tree. I thought I saw a shadow move high up on the slope, but when I looked again, it was gone. Where is that creature? I asked under my breath. And thanks for throwing up. Is that first person limited?
Yes.
I don't think you can't make up your own point of view.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Put your pinky up and then your.
How do we know it's first person?
Because it says hi.
You don't.
Hi.
I started off with the easy ones. I have faith in you getting confused.
What?
As the scared student walked up the hill, she realized that everything was too quiet. Watching her, the bunny monster tipped his head back and drew breath to growl, but just as the first grrr passed his lips, he heard the crack of a dead branch off to his left. Startled, he looked over, cocking his horned head to one side, and watched the strange man with great interest. As the creepy man saw the student start up the hill, he moved quickly into the shelter of the huge old maple tree. If she saw him now, everything would be ruined. I'll grab her as she walks past, he thought to himself and smiled a wicked grin. Is the confusion already starting to set in? Let's see. Apparently not. Fine. Then omniscient or limited?
Limited.
So those of you saying limited, what character does it follow the whole time?
Yeah.
So what character does it follow at the start? And then?
Bunny monster.
And then?
Old man.
I would agree. Well done. So that's going to be omniscient. It jumps around between them. All right, you got those two. The evil old teacher watched as the girl came up the hill and looked around uneasily. It's almost like she's looking for something, he thought. I wonder what it is. Focusing on the ground, the man noticed a small furry creature in the weeds, but ignored it. His real prey was walking towards him and had no idea he was even there. And how many do we have? Apparently not. I even tried to put the I
Ha 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 ha.
All right. Limited or omniscient then?
L. Limited.
Uh-oh. For this one, we have argument. Hold up a strong L, or you hold up a strong O.
Lozen.
We have the third. And who's it following right here?
Teacher.
Here?
Teacher.
Here?
Teacher.
Oh, I guess it's limited then. Those of you who threw your loser limited sign, you were correct. All right, let's see if you get this one then.
Wait a minute.
As you sit in the grass and wiggle your evil bunny tail, you watch as the girl walks up the hill whistling. Does she have any idea I am even here, you wonder? But you dismiss the idea as silly. No one knows about you. That is until you look up and see that creepy old geezer standing only a few feet away from you. And oh, I'm struggling with, no. Okay, fine. How do you know it's second person?
Because it says you.
Alright, good job again. Alright, I will try to make it slightly more confusing. Apparently,
We already made this.
How much time do I have left?
No, not really.
Period 5. Yeah, I still have like 5 minutes. As I walked up the hill, I realized that the atmosphere was just too quiet. There was no sound from the bunny monster who was nearly always growling from the base of the maple tree. Who is he waiting for? I wondered suspiciously. He's such an awful little creature. Is that a 2? How do you know it's first?
It said I.
But it says he and he.
Another dialogue.
That's skibbity dialogue.
Yes, skibbity dialogue. I think I have 2 more. As the student neared the top of the hill, the quiet atmosphere made her suspicious. The hidden bunny monster tipped his head back and inhaled deeply in order to unleash his terrifying growl. But just as the first grrr passed his lips, he stopped and instead gurgled out, "Grrr, I will eat your toes, silly human. They're delicious." Hearing the intimidating words, the girl shrieked and then broke into giggles. "I don't have any toes, you silly creature. You have nothing to eat today."
Those are young. Wait, how does she have the legs? How do you walk?
The bunny monster started to eat.
See, I've already started distracting you and you can't even hold up numbers. You're like, now you're just trying to count your own toes. Alright. And limited or omniscient?
Omniscient.
Apparently you're correct. I was making sure, but yeah, it starts off up here following student, and then student, then here in the middle is alright, my last one. What? I yelled at my, what? I yelled in my monstrous fury. How do you not have toes? Every person has toes, and now I want to nibble on yours. But the girl just giggled at my words and bounced away, ignoring everything I said while my little horn shook in vain. The next person will be mine, I decided. And what is your hint? Right. My last one. As you get near your favorite hill, you hear an odd growling sound, and the echoes of child's giggles bounce off the nearby trees. Looking around you with surprise at all the tubes being held up like little bunny ears. Right. Apparently, you guys are slightly smarter than I anticipated. You got lucky this time.
We should be the new advanced class.
Oh, hey, I'm not even sure my advanced class is my new advanced class. I was just sassing the kids online. So, tomorrow, we're not finishing this. Because what are we doing tomorrow?
Library visit to the skibbity toilet land.
And what do you have to bring tomorrow?
A book.
Sure. Now, Thursday, we are finishing this, and we're going to start getting into our first example story about a turtle and a hare going for a race.
To the party.
Friday is when we get to find out about love and death.
Yay!
Now I'm done.